All right, round 2, Vintage Challenge. We're playing Rug Boring Cards. We're versing Adam Yurchik, who typically likes to play PO, but also branches out into the other blue decks. Let's see what they're on. Nope. Oh, turn 1, 0-1. A classic. That's true. It will be a 1-2. Good point, Squee. Good point. Oh, look at you, foil preordain. Yeah, it's a very legacy deck. For sure. The trick is you get to play Ancestral Recall and Time Walk. So I have to make a choice here if I want to brainstorm using my fetch or just jam a Dreadhorde Arcanist. I guess I don't need to make that choice because I technically have an Emerald. That makes it my life easy. I want to fetch first. I don't even have a Pyroblast to hold up. Negation Will, Lavinia, Volcanic Eye. Wow, that's a hand, isn't it? Should I play the Tarmogoyf as B, or should I jam So my Dreadhorde Arcanist is a lot worse if they play Lavinia, because they'll then negate my Lightning Bolt, and then I can't cast spells with my Arcanist. So I actually think I might just play a Tarmogoyf here, though they have to draw a white source. They actually probably have to force my Arcanist, because if they don't draw a white source, they just kind of lose. So... I think it's still supposed to be Arcanist. It's just a better play. You can find that there's actually an MTG Goldfish article that is I think it's called Vintage Roundtable if you look it up, Jobless Streamer, where Joe Dyer interviews like 6 or 7 players from the Magic community about that kind of stuff. My opinion should be there. I don't exactly remember what they were. There's a bunch of cards you can unrestrict, but they're all kind of lame cards, so I don't know why you would, kind of thing. Besides, like Luris. Luris should just be unbanned straight up. So we got their Force of Will. Let's see. They drew a Preordain off the top, which is obviously a good top deck for our opponent. Their best draw is probably Pearl, right? To play Lavinia. They went top, and then just played a Volk anyways. Interesting. All right, so I definitely want to play that on my opponent's turn because we know that they have a negation. It's also possible I want to wait until I have the ability to pay for a Flusterstorm that they may have drawn, but I don't know. So if they topped, they could have drawn Pyroblast or Flusterstorm that they wanted to keep up. But this is like a really good opportunity where they only have one unknown card and it has to be one of those cards. So I'm pretty sure I'm just going to jam this. All right, we resolved it. We drew a bunch of Lightning Bolts. So hopefully they play a Lavinia. All right, so I know 3 of their cards in hand. Definitely just jamming an end step Lightning Bolt on this Lavinia. Now I have hard cast negation up. Or I could play Dak Fade in pre-combat, in which case they probably have to negate it. I think that's worse. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's worse. Because then they just untap and dig by having 5 cards, and I don't like that very much. Especially because the Dak is getting exiled as well. Interesting. All right, I'm pretty willing. Oh, this is awkward. This is very awkward. Because if I negate this and I don't draw a land, I can't slam Dak. But if I don't negate this, then they just force of negation my Dak and cast Dig Through Time this turn. This is really awkward because opponent has drawn enough lands where they can start casting their spells now. Yeah, it's really bad for me because if I negate this, then they just negation pitching Dak and then end of turn Dig Through Time, which is super bad for me. We can't. If we fight over this, we lose. So, and like we lose the tempo play like quite horribly as well. Like we know 3 of their cards. We know that all they have to do is negate our negation. That's their 6th card in the yard. To end of turn, Dig Through Time. It's just not a play we can make. That's just not true. All right, that's a great draw though. This is much better. I'm glad we waited. I guess it would have ended up in the same way, but now we can jam a Renin 6. When they negate it, we negate back, and then we're much better off because you see now when we negate this, it's not their 6th card in their yard. Yeah, this was this was such a good play on my part. Like they have to have drawn Pyroblast or we're like super far ahead, right? So I negate their negation doesn't go to the yard. They no longer have 6 cards to Dig Through Time. Yeah, much better. And now we get to get a fetch land, which is actually just an Ancestral Recall. Because why wouldn't fetch land be Ancestral Recall? Mystic Sanctuary should be banned. What the hell? How is this legal? How is every fetch land in my deck an Ancestral Recall? That's cheating. Oh, they also found an Ancestral Recall. Yeah, I can't do anything about that. So you're up to 5 cards, including a dig and a fetch. So now their fetch land is also Ancestral Recall. Everyone gets an Ancestral Recall for their fetch land. It's so dumb. I really dislike it. I can't believe they printed this card. It's crazy to me. What is this? Are they going to do the same thing? Okay, everyone's putting Ancestral Recalls on the top of their library. Fair. This is I should take a picture right now. That's like peak vintage right there. Just both players putting Ancestral Recall on the top of their library. You only run one because you can just gush it back over and over again. Oh, hello. Hello, Magic cards. What do we want to do here? What do we want to do here? What do we want to do here? We have a Pyroblast for their Ancestral Recall, but they will have an active Dig Through Time. We have nothing to steal with the Dak Faden. The cards that we have, I mean, we could pitch. I think we're playing an Uro this turn. I'm pretty sure we're playing an Uro this turn. Little awkward, but I guess what we can do is we can bring this back, cast the Uro. Play a land. I actually don't know how many more things I have. I could actually flash back Uro this turn, but I want to be able to Pyroblast Force, so... I think this is better than targeting their dig through time. The only way we get super blown out here is by Flusterstorm. We do get like completely blown out by Flusterstorm for sure. But I think this is worth fighting over. Nice. All right. That was like a pretty risky play, but I don't mind. All right, so we're now out of fetchable lands. They might have a... Yeah, this is fine no matter what. Oh, I should have used this emerald, huh? Oh, we have one more fetchable land. I like Uro a lot in this deck. All right, I'm out of fetchable lands, but I can still get back this Misty for like a DAC later on. I wonder if I was supposed to leave some more fetchable lands to keep bringing back with Ren. I should have probably gotten rid of Force of Will. It's my first time like seriously playing with an Uro, so I think I made a mistake there. I should have left a couple more fetchables. Lightning Bolt. Found a Brainstorm, cast a Brainstorm. We don't have any more fetchable lands. We are out of fetchable lands. So I should have left a couple more lands, though, just to bring back with Ren and 6, so that I could have more cards to pitch to Dak Vaden. Because I can't flash back Force of Will, so like I definitely should have gotten rid of Force of Will and Dreadhorde Arcanist. So I could have had 2 more fetches in my yard to get back with Ren and 6, so that was just like a small mistake. You have a Black Lotus. Do you have a Cruise? Or you have Snap Ancestral? Sure. It's a good play. If they find Swords to Plowshares, we're not very far ahead. They found Swords to Plowshares. Oh, they just flash back Swords to Plowshares. That makes way more sense. Okay. So yeah, we lost our Uro. They have 1 card. We have 2 cards, but we don't have any card advantage engines. If we could draw Gush, that'd be great. We drew Wasteland. That's not bad either. That provides us with a different Ren and 6 plan. So I can just minus this Ren on the Snapcaster, play a Wasteland, and kill one of the volcanic islands. Take him off a red first for sure. It's obviously I get kind of punished if they draw Gush by not getting rid of their Sanctuary, but they're not going to ever make it back up to 4 lands. So it should be fine. So they did draw Treasure Cruise off the top, which is obviously the nut draw. And still leaves Ancestral. Wasting my Sanctuary and running it back is too slow. If I still had my Uro, that would 100% be the play. But I don't have my Uro anymore, so... So now we have Dak Vaden versus Ren and 6. Obviously, it'd be nice if I could draw my Treasure Cruise. I'm going to start by getting rid of their red source that's untapped so that my Ponder doesn't get blasted, because it definitely would get blasted. Oh, fucking hell. They drew Gush off it? All right, I guess we lose. So I guess I got punished for not wastelanding the Mystic Sanctuary. Wow, that's incredible. I guess I need to draw Time Walk now. I mean, they did top deck Treasure Cruise, I guess, but at the same time, I opened myself up to that. I did draw Time Walk. I don't really want these other cards, but this has to resolve. Okay. They might still not be able to beat this Renin 6. Especially when we get to Emblem. If we get to Emblem. If it might have a Lightning Bolt, though. No, we're not strip mining our Sanctuary. Stop it. We won't make it that long. We need to keep them off of their own Sanctuary. If we kill the Volcanic Island, it's another one of their red sources gone. So unfortunately, we're drawing a Sapphire next turn because I couldn't fetch. So we're pretty much 100% in on this Strip Mine Renin 6 game plan here. That's kind of the only thing we have going for us. What we can do, though, is just ult this Renin 6. And we do have Lightning Bolts in our yard, so... Alright, so... I have another Renin 6, so all I need to do is ulti this Renin 6, Pyroblast the Dak Faden. I have 2 cards I can do to bring back stuff. Yeah, so that should be fine. I have 2 Pyroblasts worth of things. Counter that, pitching this. Counter that. Take infinite turns. That was not the correct sequence for that, but this works as well. And this is why we play Ren and not Jeskai. Yeah, this is the fair deck in Vintage, by the way. Did take me a while. All right, infinite turns. GG easy. Yeah, and this is why I think Rug is a lot better than Jeskai, because it is a fair deck, but it is also incredibly unfair. I'm going to bring in Cloythimos, I don't know how to say his card, and I'm going to bring out Pyroblast and Hydroblast, and I'm going to break out 3 Force of Wills. And that's it. Yes. 3 mana. You can hard cast it a lot. Exile and cancel, actually good enough, I think. All right, I have to play a little bit faster because I did talk a lot in that one. Though we don't have Force of Wills to protect our Cloythos, whatever the hell that stupid card's called. Cloth? It's a cloth man? Okay. I don't think so. I think that's wrong. That doesn't look right to me. Oh, it's your girl. It's your girl. I like this card. I don't know if it's good, but I like that card a lot. Are we like, do we want to brainstorm any of these cards away? I guess the stack fading is pretty bad. Yep, fine. I wasn't gonna fight over your brainstorm anyways. They gotta fight over my brainstorm? They do know my hand, but my hand's pretty good. Kind of a low value brainstorm. Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm super okay with this. They're pretty low on untapped mana. If I had a Moxen, I would just jam this card. All right, chat. We got a lot of options. What do you think? What do you think? Which of the non-pyroblastable threats are we playing? Goyf currently does not die to Bolt. I think that we should go Goyf. They can just, obviously, they could swords it, but that's fine as well. If I could have protected my god, I definitely would have played the god, but we need one more mana to do that. I don't think there's any reason to, like, this card is our best chance of winning games, I guess. So I would definitely want to be able to play with our Pyroblast for it. Hard to say. Who knows how they decided to build their deck this week. They only have 4 cards in hand. We look for a mana source here. Not ideal. All right, well, now I'm gonna just play the Jolriel and the Ponder, and I don't know. I think we're just like, by missing land drops, we're kind of in a world of pain. Yeah. It's really rough to be missing land drops when we boarded out Force of Wills. Sanctuary back Swords to Plowshares to kill the Yoriel. That's fine because they're using a draw step to do it. So as long as they don't have like a follow up, like really bad thing for us, yeah, that's fine. So now pitch 2 lands, kind of annoying. I don't think we have time to be baiting with anything. Pretty sure we're just pyroblasting this. If they have negation, then that's fine. If not, we just play this. Yeah, we definitely don't want to draw all of our 3 drops and not lands. It's definitely not the way you draw this game up. All right, now we've got some problems. I guess not really if this resolves, but we basically have to hope they don't have Force of Will. Right? I guess we could technically Oko this thing right now. Man, I just feel like they have Force of Will. If they don't have Force of Will, I guess we don't get to eat this turn anyways, so they still get to swords this. So I think we just jam an Oko. I guess we could just start by attacking as well. Yeah. Should we ponder or brainstorm? I guess I don't have any time to think about this, so I'll just do what my gut instinct tells me. which is Brainstorm. Because we can ponder on the next turn. Well, we might not actually be able to ponder on the next turn, but just looking for a land. Oh my god, we hit no lands. At least we hit a negation, I guess. So dig underneath deck. And then I can pitch. No. Dig underneath Preordain, pitching Oko. No, dig underneath Oko, pitching Preordain. I guess I could just put the Pyroblast away. Dig underneath Pyroblast, and I get all the choices. I don't know. The reason I thought Brainstorm first was so that I could shuffle on the next turn, but maybe that's wrong. I don't know. I'm not an Arcanist player, so please correct me and tell me what I was supposed to do. Another DAC? That's fine. Why do you like? I'm sure you're right, Jose. Just can you tell me why so that I understand, not just I follow. All right, we're like super far ahead in this game though. I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure it out myself, okay? Oh, fucking really? I don't think I played that very well. I think I played that quite poorly. I don't think I played that game very well. I mean, they just locked out their top deck, right? Their top deck is now Pyroblast on Oko, but Oko has lost relevance in this game. So like this Oko is gonna turn this into a food. I'm gonna lightning bolt this. I now have 4 power. They have and then I have an extra preordain every turn. So no. I don't actually agree with that statement, Comical, because when you say a win's a win, it doesn't translate into you winning in the future, right? So me playing better now or playing poorly now and identifying why I'm playing poorly now is going to result in me doing more winning in the future. So a win is not a win in terms of like winning a tournament or something. Sure, a win is a win, but like winning the Vintage Challenge is not the end all be all or the supreme goal here. The goal is to like learn this deck and get better so that when I play in a tournament that has a higher stakes, I have a higher chance of winning. And I think like this game, like I gotta figure out like, I mean, missing the land drops was the weird part, and then we drew all threats, and maybe we missequenced threats. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm not really 100% sure. I don't think like we picked the worst line ever. I think we picked like maybe the second or third best line each time. But obviously, like, this card is completely busted, so Cloithus looked pretty good there. It didn't even hit the battlefield, but like just like imagining it hitting the battlefield looked pretty unbeatable. Not that I think you need it to win this matchup, so I'm not 100% sure on if it's like necessary or anything like that, but I mean, is getting hit by Daze an error though? Like, I'm like, it looks bad, right? But is that really a misplay? Like, should I be playing around Daze at that point when opponent is, tapped out with, we have a pretty decent knowledge of what their last cards are in hand? Like, was it really an error to play into Daze? Maybe. It's possible. I didn't have to. It just seemed like a really good opportunity to resolve a game-ending card, right? So, I don't know. It's possible, for sure. It's hard sometimes to separate game-losing plays from incorrect plays, right? So, like, it's quite possible that even though getting Daze there might lose me the game, right? But does that mean the play is incorrect? Not necessarily, right? So I kind of agree that there weren't like super clear errors, but there's definitely places where maybe we could have played a more optimal line. I kind of want to go back and watch. Actually, I'm chilling right now. Is Lawrence still around? Maybe Lawrence can tear apart my play when we go over it. Be down. How do I... Like, I think our cards are just, like, kind of more powerful than our opponent's cards in that game, so I'm not really sure.
One seed from China, 3-1 in the semis and avenged the semi.
Land, which is actually just an ancestral. Like, game one, I thought we played pretty well. That'd be great. I thought game one was pretty good. Pyroblast worth of. And like, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, we kind of had our hand forced because we were stuck on 3 lands, right? But we don't have Force of Wills to protect our Cloithus, whatever the hell that stupid card's called. So, like, I think there's a possibility I'm supposed to ponder on turn 1 here. Like, I already think that this play was probably wrong. Like, what do you guys think about pondering on turn 1 here? What's opponent going to play on turn 2 that I need to Pyroblast that they couldn't have already tried to resolve? Like, if they had Ancestral Recall, they would have Ancestraled in my upkeep. So, like, why am I holding up Pyroblast when I could be playing Ponder? Taking the 2 best cards off of Ponder and then fetching away the 3rd one. Or if they're all 3. Like, obviously the Ponder makes my subsequent Brainstorm worse. Theoretically, but it might also not. I mean, there also could be 3 unkeepables on top. A problem with Ponder here is, like, what am I looking for? It's a little bit hard to say. Like, Mental Misstep, Ancestral Recall, Force of Will, even though we cut Force of Will, would not be bad at this point. Arcanist, fair. I definitely think that I think, like, if you look at this comical, like, I think on turn 1 of this game, I already misplayed, right? I think just not pondering here is a misplay. Like, there's merit to holding up Brainstorm Pyroblast, but I don't think the merit is enough that I should have just not played Ponder, right? And, like, you have to think about, like, oh, I'm low on time, I'm playing fast, maybe. But, like, this is a kind of fundamental thing that if I had played more Arcanist matches across Legacy and Vintage or more Fair Blue matches, then I would know that maybe I'm supposed to ponder here, right? Especially against a fair blue opponent. Like if opponent is on PO or Hold Reacher or something, then there's a lot more merit to holding up in Pyroblast. But right as it is, I think this is just a misplay. So I don't know. That's the kind of things I'm worried about. Because I don't have a lot of reps with this kind of deck, but I think this deck is just so much stronger than the other kind of decks I've been playing.
Cloth? It's a cloth man? Okay. I don't think so. I think that's wrong. That doesn't look right to me. Oh, it's your girl.
Here, I definitely don't mind holding up Brainstorm Pyroblast. I still don't think I don't think I'm supposed to play Ponder at this point. Though no, I actually don't agree with that statement either. So if I play Ponder this turn, that lets me next turn play Yoriel Pass. And what Yoriel Pass lets me do is, in response to removal, play Brainstorm. So this is our, like, I think on turns 1 and 2 of this game, we misplayed. Right? I mean, like, it's definitely debatable. This is Jeskai, playing against Jeskai. It's definitely debatable, and the lines that I took have merit, but I think they're like the second best line that you can take there. So I think that my play here is fine, but it's not at a high level, and it's going to lose me games in the future. So that's why we're trying to pick it apart and be better. And I guess you can like debate the merits of like how good is a Yoriel, but like it's here, it's in our hand. We should do what we can with it, right? It's like it's a pet card of mine, and the reason that I'm playing it is to have a non-pyroblastable threat that doesn't involve the graveyard. So if opponent were to say bring in Leyline of the Void, I have some way to make make a threat. So I think we're always the threat deck because our cards are just stronger than our opponents. Like unless opponent has a mentor, we're the threat. We're the aggro. Like Jeskai is only gonna ever be the aggro if they have a mentor. I guess if they have an early Arcanist, then they can be the beatdown. But like I'm not saying play Yoriel this turn, but I'm thinking like if we play Ponder, it gives us a better opportunity to play Yoriel and get a cat on the next turn. I think I'm just holding these cantrips way too long in these matchups where I don't need to hold cantrips. Especially when I don't have any Flusterstorms in my hand. Like, if I had Pyroblast Flusterstorm, then you start to get into territory where it gets a lot better to be holding open the 3 spells, right? Then I can look at, Pyroblast, their Walker on 3, and Flusterstorm their Force of Will or something. Or if they don't do anything, then we can end up turn Brainstorm or something. But I definitely undervalued the fact that I need to draw more lands here. I definitely undervalued that fact. I mean, it was kind of nice that opponent Flusterstormed my Brainstorm, where I didn't have to deal with a Flusterstorm for the rest of the game. But yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to like put up a point where, like, from the rest of this game, the game gets really hard because I just don't have land drops to hit.
I'm super okay with this. They're pretty low on it, but that's fine as well.
Like, I could have chosen not to Tarmogoyf this turn. Like, there's no reason for me to jam this card because I really want to be able to play it with Pyroblast up. Because the only way they're beating this card is on the stack with Force of Will, I think.
If I could have protected my god, I definitely.
So there's definitely no reason, I think, to jam that card. But maybe I'm supposed to jam.
I don't think there's any reason to. Like, this card's our
yeah,
winning games,
I don't know.
So I would definitely.
Like, we're stuck with this Ponder in our hand, which is a lot worse than being stuck with the Brainstorm in regards to having a Yoriel. So
we look for a mana source here.
Anyways, what is this? wonder if I can collect the collector roof. Yeah, like this is supposed to. That's the whole reason it's here, is to be a game-ending card in these kind of matchups. But like I think this should break the mirror. Like this should be extremely mirror breaking. So I think it's like a powerful enough card to possibly be worth a sideboard slot, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Yeah. Like this card is probably not good enough, but I just wanted to try to play with it today. You could just turn this into a Ren and 6. I am worried about getting Leyline of the Voided, but I guess this would help a little bit, maybe. Possibly. Not sure. Anyways, I'm gonna grab some more water. Oh,